Around 20,000 couples will get married in the UK this month, with many of those planning a booze-free bash. So an increasing number of lovebirds are keeping their big days dry, with a 69% rise in online searches for actual dry weddings in the past year alone.
So, are alcohol-free weddings better? We asked you what you thought.
I personally wouldn't have a booze-free wedding. I think because I like alcohol, I like the ceremony of it and everything.
They get to a wedding, they have this mentality, getting drunk and all that instead of celebrating the moment.
I am a doctor, so I don't advise the people to drink a lot. But in a wedding, 2 glasses of wine, that's fantastic.
I barely drink, actually, so it wouldn't be a big thing to me. I know my parents have been to an alcohol-free wedding and they went to an off-licence, so I'm pretty sure that was their take on it.
I'd remember it more, certainly. That's not a bad thing.
Look, here with a glass of champagne is Ellie Phillips, who got married last June, and drink was taken. And Anne-Marie Scanlon, who says that no, it's all about celebrating people's love and not getting drunk. I thought it was about both. You can celebrate people's love and get smashed.
Well, yes and no, Richard. I mean, you've been talking all morning about the economy, the cost of living crisis. No wonder people are going for booze-free weddings.
You think that's why, do you? It's money.
I mean, who can afford to drink these days, let alone pay for a load of proto-alcoholics getting trashed on their big day?
There you look at me like that. Go on.
That's the point, isn't it? It does keep the bills down.
Yeah, but that's only if you're going to offer an open bar. So, you know, this debate isn't whether you should have a free bar or a paid bar. Right. I think if you're like, OK, we can't afford to buy our friends a drink, well, why take their choice away? I don't think you should inflict your lifestyle choice onto others.
That's a perfect answer.
Well, no, but I mean, if you're going to have a dry wedding, there's a lot of reasons why. Some people have religious reasons for not drinking, and others have relatives that might, you know, cause a holy show at the reception.
If you were getting married tomorrow, why would your wedding be dry?
Well, I don't drink, and...
Well, I do, and I'm coming to your wedding. Can I have a glass of wine?
Are you, Richard? I hope you get me a nice present.
No, but seriously, OK, fine, you don't drink, it's your choice. I like a glass of wine at a wedding. Why can't I have a glass of wine at your wedding?
Well, you know, you can always take a naggin of vodka in your backpack, in your man bag.
That's exactly what I did. I took a hip flask with me to a dry wedding.
So I've been to one completely dry wedding, and the frustrating thing was we didn't know in advance. So we'd booked taxis to take us here, there and everywhere, from everywhere, because we were going to drink. And then we turned up and it was like, we could have just driven. And a lot of people left earlier. There were people sneaking out to go to a bar down the road. And so I think the notion it puts forward if you're having a completely dry wedding is that your wedding is going to be dry.
What about people?
No. Though, if you've invited people who presumably love you to bits, hopefully, and you care about them and you're investing a big chunk of cash, the fact that they're just a bit bored because they can't drink, isn't that a rather sad thing?
Yes,
it says more about them.
It does, in a sense, but the celebration in the UK, we celebrate a lot of things with alcohol. You know, it's toast to the bride and groom, toast with champagne.
You don't need alcohol to celebrate.
I'm not saying you don't.
You need alcohol to go on the dance floor, though.
No, you don't, Richard.
Well, I do.
People use alcohol as a passport to give them licence to do things. I got sober quite young and I was single, so I wasn't going to sit at home all the time on my own, waiting for, you know, Mr. Right or fun to come to my door, and I had to go out and socialise. In my 30s, I was at so many weddings, as you are, and I was sober at all of them, and I had a really good time.
That's fine, but that's your experience and that's your choice. But the point is, if you're having a dry wedding where you turn up and there's not even a bar where you can buy a drink from, you're taking away other people's choice. And so I think that's where the problem is, because
but do you need alcohol to dance and have a good time?
Some people do, and also if you're one drink is fine, 2 drinks is fine. Exactly, but what's wrong with 1 or 2 drinks? It's legal, it's normal, it's expected. And I think, yes, you're celebrating the couple, but it's celebration. Everyone's celebrating. So if they would choose to celebrate with a drink, why not? And also, you mentioned cost. The average cost to go to a UK wedding now is about £1,000 a head to be a guest.
Well, true, because they go on for days.
Yeah, and if you're giving
that's another reason not to drink, because the next day at the brunch,
you don't need to drink to hangover extent. You can have 1 or 2.
Oh, come on.
You don't have to, though. You can have a glass of wine.
But people do.
You can have a glass of champagne. And if you're spending your time and your money to go to a wedding and someone's like, no, there's no alcohol, you can't even buy any, I'd be a bit miffed.
But, I mean, if I spend my time and money to go to a wedding and somebody gets outrageously drunk, which has happened, it spoils it for everyone, because it mortifies people when there's somebody swirling around and telling things about the groom that we'd rather not.
All right. Time and gentlemen, please. We're out of it. Thank you both very much indeed.